Welcome back to Stories Sustain Us, where we explore the inspiring stories of individuals making a meaningful impact in our world. I'm your host, Stephen Shower, and today we're diving into a story that beautifully blends tradition, compassion, and a vision for a brighter future. My guest today is Nadia Arab, who uncovered a treasure trove of family history in the form of a lost cookery book. This book, now republished as The Road from Karachi, is a collection of authentic Indian and Pakistani recipes that reflect her rich cultural heritage. In this episode, Nadia shares her passion for cultural harmony and her belief that by embracing diversity and showing kindness, we can build a more compassionate world. Her story is one of resilience, generosity, and the power of food to connect us all. Nadia is a UK-born teacher and instructor. She wanted to fulfill her parents' dream of their lost cookbook. So when Nadia republished it 30 years later, after having found it through a random conversation, it just makes for a great story. Nadia has embedded her father and mother's name in the title of the book, and the colors of the book also represent water, which is close to Nadia's heart as she lives in a city by the sea. But Nadia's journey doesn't stop at preserving the past and promoting cultural harmony. Nadia is on a mission to create a better future by raising funds through the sale of her book and direct contributions to provide clean water in India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Kenya. Her story clearly demonstrates that any business can be purpose-driven, and she is inviting all of us to join her cause. So sit back and get ready to be inspired by Nadia Arab's journey from the pages of a lost cookbook to her vision for a better, more harmonious future. Here on Stories Sustain Us, where we are inspiring action through the power of storytelling. Well, welcome, Nadia. Welcome to Stories Sustain Us. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and I appreciate your time. I'm over here in Seattle. I know you're over in the UK.
Yeah.
Let everybody know where in the UK are you coming from?
Oh, I'm from Portsmouth, right at the
Portsmouth.
bottom of the whole country, right down by the
Yeah,
sea.
yeah. I've been there. There's a famous old ship there in Portsmouth, isn't there? One like
Yes. Yeah. So you
yeah,
got the Mary Rose, you got the HMS Victory.
Victory.
And
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Did a tour of that a few years ago. Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
lovely place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful coastal town there. So nice to
Mm.
have you join me in the coastal town of here in Seattle. So it's nice
Oh,
to have you.
yeah.
Um,
Lovely to be here.
let's jump into your story. As this program goes, we'll talk a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into the book that you've kind of recreated. But let's talk a little bit about you first. So tell me a little bit about your background and your story, Nadia.
Right. So born and bred in Portsmouth, and all of my life I've been here in the UK. I went to school here. I went to middle school. I went to secondary school. I did my GCSEs, my A levels, and then I went on to university and I did my degree, my first degree in sociology. And then from that, I did a master's degree in IT, of
Nice.
which then I became an IT teacher and I started working, I still do, still teach in IT. And then I trained alongside my master's degree. I did my fitness qualifications. I did it as like a hobby thing that I wanted just to get qualified in. And then it just so happened that I got a job in the fitness industry as well. So today, for instance, I taught aqua aerobics this morning. Hence why I'm still in my kit here. But yeah, so that's what I've done. I've also got my PGCE, a degree in teaching as well. And yes, so my life was very much about working in IT, delivering IT, and I thought that was my path
Yeah.
until I found my parents' cookery book, which they lost 30 years. And it must be 40 years nearly now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I found their lost cookery book, which I'll tell you all about the story about what happened there. And I republished it, wrote it, didn't know how to publish a book, but I managed to do it. And it's now in waterstones.com. which
Nice.
is a massive achievement, because I never thought I could get to that point. And the road, it's called the Road from Karachi, and the Road from Karachi has a meaningful project. It's all about family, it's all about love, it's all about cooking. And the reason for the name, the Road from Karachi, is because R stands for Riaz, my dad, and K stands for Khalida, the road from Karachi. The
Nice.
branding colours are blue, which signifies water, because I've been brought up near water. And I've also got a water project linked to the book as well. So my path has gone a very different direction now, which I never thought I would ever go down this path. I've got schools cooking from the book, so it's on the curriculum. So I've got young students cooking, and I've got people cooking, learning, and installing water pumps with me through the road from Karachi. And my mother, she's beaming. Her dream has come true, and my dad.
Nice. Now let's go back in time a little bit before we catch up to the book and everything. Your parents, they immigrated to the UK. Is that correct?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So my parents, so my dad's Indian Punjabi and my mum's Pakistani. They came to Portsmouth on a honeymoon, and then they decided to stay in Portsmouth because they loved the boats. That's what my dad said. And
Yeah.
then they had us children, and they then decided to run an Indian cookery school back in the 80s. Very brave of them. Very, very
Yeah.
brave. I said, Mum, God, you're so brave to put an advert out and do that. But yeah, they went ahead and did it, and they were very successful back in the 80s.
Fantastic. And you have how many siblings? Yeah,
Got
were brought
two,
up
so I've
there
got
in
one brother
Two.
and one sister, yeah.
Yeah. And so you said that your whole life there in Portsmouth, were you involved in any of the boating activities or anything as far as that's concerned growing up as well, since that's what attracted your father to the area?
Yes. Yeah, very much water. All about water around here. We're all surrounded by water and boats and naval base, and yeah, so my life was very much around that type of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the things that you remember growing up as a kid as far as being involved with water with your family? What were some of the activities that you did?
So we would go to the dockyard and look at the boats, look at HMS Victory, look at the Mary Rose. We would have boat trips around the island. There's a thing called a hovercraft. We would jump on the hovercraft and go to the Isle of Wight and
Oh
see
yeah.
different areas on the boats and the water. And yeah, so very much that's the type of things that we got involved with.
Nice. Nice. Um, so any other, as far as, growing up, was there any other kind of drive to be involved in these kind of purpose driven or, because your book now, as we get to that here in a few minutes, you have this kind of purpose behind it, honoring your family, honoring your heritage, obviously is such an important part of the book, but then also the funding of water pumps. So
Yeah.
was kind of being involved in impact work or purpose driven work, was that some way that you were kind of raised by your family of always looking out for others in the community, or when did that come to you as far as a passion?
Yeah, so I've been brought up to very much give and to look out for people, and it's all about love and giving in our family. But what happened with me was one of my neighbours, she had a hose pipe out in her garden, and I felt really agitated by the wastage of water. And
Hmm.
this particular person had this hose pipe out for quite a long while, and I thought to myself, why am I feeling inside quite agitated by this waste of water? And then I noticed I was putting cups underneath dripping taps and then using that water to put in plants. And I thought, hold on, why am I doing this subconsciously? I'm just doing stuff to save water. And I'm very spiritual. So I thought, okay,
Hmm.
somebody is giving me a message here. Something is telling me something. I need to follow this. So I popped onto Google, and I just so happened to see a company providing water pumps. So I bought a water pump in my name, and it went out to Pakistan. Then I thought to myself, do you know what? It would be lovely to get local businesses involved. Then all of a sudden, through Instagram, I got a message through from a local cafe saying to me, I want to work with you. I've seen your book. I love your recipes. Can we produce something? So I said,
Nice.
if you want to work with me, then let's create a dish that will donate out to clean water, and then let's make this happen. And then that's how it all started.
Nice. And how long ago was that, this kind of transformation?
That was last January.
Okay, so you're just moving into this new space. So,
Mhm.
um, do you want to tell me a little bit about? I'm fascinated. I love Indian food, and it's one of my favorites. So, my wife and I, Thanksgiving in November is a big holiday here in the States, and for the last several years, my wife and I don't have a big family around us, so we actually go out for Indian food. It's like our holiday treat, and it's such a wonderful, um, you know, just great food. We love it. So, tell me a little bit about your parents in the 80s, and what they were doing, and the creation of the first creation of this cookbook, I guess. And I think it's got an interesting story of an original creation, and then kind of lost in time, and how you found it. So tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So the original book, in fact, I have got the copy here with me. So the original book, it was typed up with the typewriter, and it was
Wow.
very much very thin, very uh when I found it, it was very used, which is a good sign because obviously the
Yeah.
person that was using it was but the way I found it, by the way, the way I found the book was unique in itself. But yes, the book back then, they wrote it. I think they got the secretary to type it up, what mum said. And she did. The
Yeah.
secretary typed it up. They helped us. And they then managed to get the book in a local bookshop as well. And mum said to me that that was her dream, that was her passion. And my dad said to me, this is what we did. We had love for food. We wanted to share the
Yeah.
spices back in the 1980s. We wanted to share the flavors. But my mum and dad moved area, so they couldn't go back to the cookery school.
Mm.
And then they lost their copy of the book.
Oh.
And I remember being 8 years old, and I thought, you know what? If I ever find this book, I'm going to do it for them. And over the years, we would just like dribs and drabs talk about the book, just like little conversations here and there.
Yeah.
And then one day I was at work and I was speaking to a colleague of mine about food. And she said to me, I think my dad was on this course back in the day, Nadia. And I thought, you know what? Let's see if it is that course because I've heard this many times, but it was never the course.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, it was. And she gave me the book exactly 30 years later from Mum and Dad Publishing.
Yeah.
So I took it home, and my father and my mother said to me, this is your path, this is your journey. You need to somehow republish this and get it out to the market because this is our dream. And then my mum said to me, I would love the cookery school to start back up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it for you. Even though I work full time and part time, the love for my parents and their dream, I just wanted to do it for them because they had quite a difficult upbringing and they had lots of challenges. And I thought, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
make a difference here. So I spent 4.5 years of all of my heart and soul and everything went into this book. And I managed to publish it I gave it to my mum. I finished it.
Yeah.
And mum, actually, she cooked every single dish in that book. And we used the kitchen table, the graphics designer's kitchen table, took all the pictures, that's very authentic. And then we put some videos in it as well that you can watch videos of the cooking. And then I was told, Nadia, you need to buy an ISBN. So I did, not
Yeah.
thinking it will get anywhere. And it ended up in Waterstones.
So, and it's waterstones.com. I want to make sure we
Yeah.
promote that so folks can know where to go get a copy of the book. So, prior to doing this, were you a cook as well? I mean, is this something that you kind of grew because your parents, you kind of grew up cooking as well, or were you kind of learning all of these recipes as you were recreating the book?
I was learning it whilst recreating. I was very much resistant, by the way,
Yeah.
of cooking. I was like, no, it's not me. I'm not going to do it. But the book really has encouraged me. In fact, I am now a chef, believe it or not. And
Nice.
I teach people, I create dishes. We've got specials on in restaurants, by the way, here in Portsmouth, the Karachi special dishes that go out and they donate to clean water, and I designed them with the restaurants and cafes. So my life has gone from something that I thought I would never do in my whole entire life to something that I'm doing now and I really love.
Yeah, and that I love that connection back to your 8-year-old self. I mean,
Yeah.
what a great journey from kind of making that commitment as a young child to life, transforming for you as an adult. What a great story. I really appreciate that. So tell me a little bit more, I guess, about um, what's your favorite dishes in there, and what are some of the things that you really enjoy eating, or maybe is a challenge to make that you hope other folks get the book and take up the challenge.
So my favourite has to be jalfrezi, the chicken jalfrezi, which
Yeah,
I cook regularly in Mum's new cookery school. So me and
yeah,
Mum have the cookery school now, and
nice.
we have chickpea curry, which we do for vegans. There's madrasses, there's desserts in there, there's chapati making that we do, there's starters, pakoras, samosas. So every single thing in that book has meaning and purpose. So all the dishes that we picked were very linked to our home, and the branding, the colours are all related to the dishes and the home, the colourful, the spices. Everything in that book is very, very linked to meaning and purpose, to the point where in the book, mum and dad published in 1987, and
Yeah,
the price is £19.87.
nice, nice, fantastic. Now, do you tell me a little bit about the cookery school? I guess, I mean, that sounds also like a kind of a great uh, reinvention for your mother, as well as you getting to do this together from her doing it in the 80s. How did that come about? Was it a result of making the book again as well, that kind of the cooking school kind of came back to life around the book?
Absolutely, yeah. So what happened was, whilst I was writing the cookery book, I had a vision board, and I cut out kitchens, I cut out bookshops, I cut out all sorts of things to put on my vision board. And one of them was to restart Mum's cookery school.
Yeah,
So after we published, I was like, "That's it. I'm determined to do this." So I was walking around Portsmouth looking for kitchens, and I walked into this one place, and I thought, "Oh my God, this is my vision board kitchen."
yeah,
And so I spoke to the owner, and he said to me, "I will trial you, Nadia, and I want you to cook to the staff members and train the staff members." So went in with my mother. We trained the staff members. We passed, thank goodness. And now we're running the cookery school from there.
I love that. Yeah, I've used vision boards in my past before, and it's amazing how
Mhm.
those work. It's just an interesting. I appreciate your spirituality around it, that you put your faith into these, uh, you know, kind of recreating a new life, and then you did the work. You went out and you did the work, but it, that tie to the vision and doing the work, and then it coming to pass, is it's just a great reinforcement of how to get things done, how to move things forward. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Anything else you want to share about your vision board experiences, or anything else that's kind of come to be because you've envisioned it and you did the work, and now it exists and it's a real thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did put Waterstones on my vision board, and that came true. And I also put down the water. So I had an association of the water and
Yeah.
something. So I actually have the boats, HMS Victory. I've got that on my vision board. That one day we'll be on there, and we'll be potentially, or might be, doing an event or something on that boat. Um,
Nice.
yes, so I've got that on there. I've got an actual building that's got the cookery school on there. Yes, so I've got all sorts of things on that vision board. But it's very motivating. So that's what drives me. So when I see it
Yeah.
and I see my parents' faces, I'm very driven by it all because I've got it visually there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's part of the powerful motivator, keeping you focused on, you got to, keep moving forward. So that's wonderful. Yeah. I love that. Um, so tell me a little bit about this. You mentioned kind of how you came about the desire to do clean water and pumps,
Hmm.
and I appreciate that story. And so where, as money's being raised in Portsmouth at the restaurants and through the sale of the
Yeah,
book, um, where is this money going to benefit you? I think you'd mentioned Pakistan, but I believe in looking at your website, there's other places that are also benefiting from
yeah.
your drive here. So talk a little bit about um, this kind of impact driven work that you're doing that's helping other parts of the world.
Yep. So when I purchased my first water pump, I looked at other charities that were installing clean water out in particular areas. Now, in my head, I thought, I've got a family in Pakistan, I've got family in India, I've got friends and family that live or have connections in Sri Lanka, and I have friends that have connections in Kenya. So I
Okay.
thought, okay, these are the areas that I want to focus on. So I then went on, I actually I did a bit of cybersecurity work. So I did some work in a cybersecurity place for work experience. And he just so happened, the owner said to me, Nadia, I'm actually jumping on a call with a company called African Adventures. Do you want to jump on it with me? So I jumped on the call and the guy said to me, I know you, Nadia. I've seen your book. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And he said to me, we've got a
Nice.
school in Kenya. Would you like to provide water for this school? And my heart was like, wow. And that was one thing I had on my vision board.
Yeah.
That was on my vision board. I remember, yes.
I was going to
How can I
ask you
forget
that.
that?
I was going to,
Yeah, that was on
yeah.
my vision board. So I remember having a school. I've got a school on my vision board. And I thought, wow, oh my God. And then we managed to raise enough to get clean water in Kenya and in Western Destiny School. So we started there. And then I looked at other companies because this place only did Kenya.
Hmm.
So I thought, who can supply water to, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan? And there's a charity called One Nation. So I then contacted them, told them what I'm doing, and they said, no problem, Nadia, let's do this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start building my water pumps with you because you go out there and you've got a good reputation. And then one day, my principal at my college collared me. He said to me, Nadia, I see what you're doing. I'm going to give you a challenge. And the challenge is 100 water pumps. Can you do it? Initially, I said no. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So that's where the 100 water pump mission has come from.
And how close are you now to getting there?
I'm on 85 now.
85. Let's hope that this podcast pushes you over the 100 limit, that we get some more
Oh
folks
no,
helping
I
you out.
really do need some. I really
Yeah,
want someone to sponsor some pumps from me to get to the 100,
absolutely.
or buy a book. Or I have got a PDF copy, by the way, now. So people
Okay.
from America, like where you are, and yeah, that's going for £10. So that's half the price of the actual book. But that again, a part of it donates out to clean water.
Nice, nice. Well, let's imagine you're going to get well past the 100. What's going to be your next? What's going to be your next goal? Because you're going to get there. You're almost there. You're going to get there. It's going to happen. We know it.
Yeah,
You know it. So what are you gonna take on next when you accomplish that first 100 goal?
I'm going to carry on because I've loved the journey. So I kind of feel like the universe has said to me, this is your path, this is your purpose, this is your meaning. And I'm going to carry on. So I'm going to make more dishes in restaurant cafes. I'm going to get water pumps. I'm going to make a difference in schools in particular by doing workshops with kids to get water pumps. doing cookery sessions around areas to get water pumps, to get some sort of learning, doing good, and then giving back as well. So very good example is I've actually got a local school here that are cooking from the book. So they're being taught from the book. So year 7, 8, 10 and 11 are cooking from the book. They're very,
Nice.
very young,
Yeah.
but they're all cooking and it's on their curriculum. So my plan is to get it into more schools, getting more kids cooking, getting more people around, adults as well cooking, getting pubs, restaurants, cafes cooking from it, and just basically making a difference in getting water pumps.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do it. I know it's already happening, and I can just see it with you already that you're gonna continue to make a big difference in the world, and I'm really excited for you. And you talked earlier about how this whole journey was kind of started from love, and that's clear. That's so clear in how you're telling the story, that there's so much love and passion that you have for this
Yeah,
project, for your parents, for your
yeah,
culture, but for the world, for
everything.
wanting to make a difference. Yeah, I just feel it
Absolutely.
from you.
Oh, yeah, everything in it. Even the book says inside, made with love, because literally my heart went into this whole thing. And now I'm seeing the impact locally and globally. I'm thinking, wow, this is like internally so fulfilling. And nothing, no money, no anything can beat the feeling that I've got now because I'm
Yeah,
beaming. I'm on cloud beyond happiness.
yeah, that is so clear that that's radiating from you through the video and across the world. It's like that's so clear, and that's makes me happy when you get to see someone um, filled with such joy and love and passion for what they're doing. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
Nadia, I want to give you a time call to action. I know we kind of talked about a few things here, the Waterstones, and clearly the call to action is to get involved, to purchase the book, to support your mission in the world. But what what do you want folks to do who are listening to this or watching this? How can they help you, or what do you want them to do in their local community? What's your call to action for people to make a difference and either help you or
Mm,
help the world be a better place? What do you
mm.
want people to do?
So I have got a GoFundMe link where people can donate, and I have just set up a crowdfunder as well. The crowdfunder I really need help with because I've got nothing in there at the moment. I've just set it up.
Okay.
So if anybody can put some money in there, donate, or put anything in there, that would help me get some more water pumps and sell some more books, share the love, share the recipes. I was very close the other day. I got a little bit disheartened because I'm not very good at sharing this stuff, but doing this actually will help me get the message out and get people doing something. But it's a crowdfunder that I need help with and just getting the message out. And if locals, even in America, want to make a special, want to donate out for a clean water pump, they can do it for a Zoom video call with me, and then it can be like the monies can be transferred into one of the funding accounts. It's not hard to do. So absolutely we can do this.
Perfect. Offline, the way we've been communicating, send me those links
Yeah,
to the Go Fund Me and the crowdfunding links, and we'll make
yeah,
sure that gets included on the video here as we're talking, as well as on the notes page, so
yeah,
folks can get to those links and
yeah.
contribute and to help you out. So
Yeah, that'd be
so
great. Another call to action would be because you're in a different country to me, and I know shipping costs are quite high, to purchase the PDF because that will help
yes,
in some respect as well, and that way you got a copy as well. And yeah,
perfect.
so,
And yeah, for audience members in the UK, go buy the book for full price and
mhm.
support. And for those audience members who might be in other parts of the world, United States or other places, go online and get that PDF. And I will be getting one, by the way, because we're gonna test out some of those recipes here. Uh, uh, we're really adept at making some butter chicken here, and which we love to do,
Lovely.
but we want to expand our home cooking abilities so we don't always have to go out and eat it. So I will definitely be purchasing the PDF copy of that book
Have a
and
go. Yes, make sure
yeah,
that you do scan the QR codes. There are QR codes in the book to videos.
nice. Thank you. And I appreciate that that you're sharing that as well. So other folks know how to do that when they get the PDF. But I can't wait to
Yeah.
try out some of those new recipes. So anything else? Any other calls to action? Anything else that you would hope folks would do to support your drive here to
Yep,
um
absolutely. So if you can directly sponsor a water pump as well, they are
okay.
£160 each, and you get your name, you get your brand logo on there, and then you specify to me where you want it. So you can say to me, out of the 3 countries in particular, India, Sri Lanka, or Pakistan, and that money goes to the water pump, and then £10 of it will come back to my side for the admin and etc. Not It's not a lot, £10, but
No,
it's just like
that's
for my time and just like setting it up and just making sure that my CIC, community of interest company, is sustained my end as well.
of course. And I appreciate you clarifying that administrative part because that's often when you're donating to charities or other groups, sometimes that's kind of hidden and you don't really know how much of the contribution is going to the benefit versus going to the admin side and that's a small amount that you're keeping as and we have businesses, we need to have income coming in to keep them up. So thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying that and that makes a lot of sense. So I'll make sure and how can folks just do the direct contribution? What's how do they get in touch with you to do that?
So I've got the bank account details on the website.
Okay.
And if you're from a different country, just email me, and then I can give you the international IBAN number that I can put on there through
Okay.
the email. The email address I'll give to you, but you've got
Okay.
anyway have an admin account, the admin at the road from Karachi. Just email me on that, and then I can give you all the information to transfer for a water pump.
Okay. And do you want to give the website name as well so folks know to directly go there?
Yep, it's www.theroadfromkarachi.com.
Perfect. I'll make sure that that is on the notes page as well for folks to link directly to you and get involved. Buy the
Mhm.
PDF or buy the book or make a direct contribution. So, or get involved and
Yep, or
support
get
you
more
through your
schools. I would love in America for your school kids to be cooking from this. This would be amazing if that could happen.
awesome. Well, maybe this will be the start of opening that door. And
Maybe.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope so. So Nadia, thank you so much for your time. I end every episode talking about hope. And you're doing such a kind of a love-filled, passion-filled work with the cookbook and then trying to provide clean water to other countries of the world. Um, knowing that other countries around the world might not be as fortunate as you are in the UK or as I am
Mm,
here in the States,
mm,
where we can just turn on the tap and generally have clean water coming out at any time. Um, so, this idea of hope is that you can envision something and then you have some ability to make it come to pass. It might be difficult. It might be, hard challenges along the way, and it might fail. But you have this vision and ability to try to make it happen. So
mhm,
I want to ask you 3 questions, and
mhm.
just kind of give me your gut reaction to these 3 questions, and 'cause I'd love to hear about your bit of hope. So,
Okay.
Nadia, what's your vision for a better future? And it could be for you personally, professionally, or for the world. What's your vision for a better future?
For harmony to happen between people, and for people just to be kind and considerate and loving to each other, and also thinking about what goodness can you give to that person and what goodness can they give back. um, because when you leave this world, you're not taking your stuff with you, you're taking the goodness, and you're taking the good deeds with you, and what I would love to see more of around the world, especially with what's going on with different countries and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I would like to happen. Just more harmony between different faiths and cultures, and understanding that we are all different and we just have to embrace it.
Nice. I think you kind of answered the second question a little bit, but I want to give you a chance to dive a little bit deeper. Why is more harmony your vision for the better future?
Just so that people embrace different cultures. When you have different cultures, you're learning different things, you're tasting different food, you've got different experiences. Life will be boring if we're all the same. So when we're all different, it's brilliant. And harmonizing between different cultures and faiths, and that understanding, brings more joy, brings more happiness, brings more fulfillment, brings more everything. So yeah, that's why.
Fantastic. Now, the last question. Imagine now we're living in that future where there's more harmony, and everybody is embracing cultural differences and sharing kindness and compassion. It's happening right now. How does that make you feel?
Even more fulfilled. Even though that I am very fulfilled right now, I'll be overflowing with fulfillment. That I think everybody around me will be radiating more and glowing more.
Nice. Well, Nadia, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for everything that you're doing to make the world a better place. I can't wait to get the cookbook and try out some of the recipes myself to support your vision for a better future. I'm going to do my little bit to bring that future of harmony to be. So thank you so
Oh,
much for joining me
brilliant.
today. It's been a pleasure
Pleasure.
speaking
It's
with
been
you.
really lovely.
All right. Well, best of wishes, and I can't wait till you sell enough to make 1,000 pumps, 10,000 pumps.
Yes, I would love that. This is my
Yeah,
journey now. Even when I hit like 90 or 100, I'm just gonna carry on, and then whatever's left with me, I'm buying water pumps. It's all going to pumps.
fantastic. Well, thank you, Nadia. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Stories Sustain Us. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Nadia Arab for sharing her incredible journey with us. From discovering her parents' lost cookery book and bringing it back to life as the road from Karachi, to her inspiring mission of installing water pumps for communities in need. Nadia's story is a testament to the power of purpose-driven work. Nadia's vision of a world where people embrace different cultures with kindness and compassion is truly inspiring to me. Her dedication to making a positive impact through the publication and sale of the cookbook, which benefits her Clean Water Initiative, reminds us of the importance of taking action to create a better future for all. I was eager to speak with Nadia because I thought the story of the found cookbook combined with the purpose-driven business model was a great fit for Stories Sustain Us. Purpose-driven business model, for those who may not be familiar with that term, is one where the primary goal is not just to generate profit, but to fulfill a larger mission that benefits society and/or the environment. These businesses align their operations, products, and services with a core purpose that often addresses social, environmental, or ethical issues. In a purpose-driven business model, profit is seen as a means to further the company's mission rather than an end goal. We've talked quite a bit in these first few episodes about moving away from a shareholder-first business model to a triple bottom line approach, balancing people, planet, and profit. While there are many ways to do that, purpose-driven businesses typically align incredibly well with the triple bottom line approach. Patagonia is probably the largest and most well-known purpose-driven business with its mission, "We're in business to save our home planet." That's Patagonia's mission statement. We're in business to save our home planet. Patagonia is a clear leader in environmental activism and sustainability. The company uses recycled materials, promotes fair labor practices, and donates a portion of its profits to environmental causes. Their Worn Wear program encourages customers to repair and reuse their gear, reducing waste, because Patagonia knows one of the best things we can do for the planet is keep stuff in use longer and reduce our overall consumption. Say that again. Patagonia knows one of the best things we can do is to reduce our overall consumption. They're a for-profit business promoting reducing consumption. While I certainly want more, if not all large multinational corporations to follow Patagonia's lead, I would also like to see more small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs following Nadia's lead. By having Nadia on today's program, I wanted to show you that you don't have to be a big, giant international company to have a purpose-driven business model. So please join me in thanking Nadia for being with us today and for the work she's doing to bring more joy, happiness, and fulfillment to the world. And to you, my audience members, I hope Nadia's story has inspired you to think about how you can make a difference in your own way. At a minimum, one way you can make a difference is to buy a copy of Nadia's cookbook, The Road from Karachi. My wife and I love Indian food, and we'll be working our way through the recipes in Nadia's book. So if you're in the UK, get a hard copy of the book. If you're in the US or anywhere else in the world, purchase the digital PDF version like I did. I can tell you the book is really well done, the photos are mouth-wateringly good, and the recipes are really easy to follow. Make sure you go to the notes page of this episode where there's a link to Nadia's website where you can purchase the book or directly support her water with a donation. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family, and subscribe, rate, and review Stories Sustain Us on your favorite podcast platform. And when you get your copy of The Road to Karachi, leave me a message about your favorite recipe, and I'll make sure that we get that message back to Nadia as well. So your feedback then, just so you know, your feedback is really important, and it helps me reach more people to share more inspiring stories like this one. Now, a quick plug for next week's episode of Stories Sustain Us. I'm really excited to have a close friend and former mentor join me next week. And this guest just happens to be the state director of the Nature Conservancy in Texas. We have a great conversation about ecosystem restoration, conservation, and a number of topics related to sustainability and climate change, including a recent major milestone accomplished by the Nature Conservancy in Texas, the protection of 1 million acres of land. Now, that's a big deal in Texas, a state where over 95% of the land is in private ownership. So check it out on September 3rd, wherever you listen to podcasts, and at storiessustainus.com. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate all your support. Until next time, I'm Stephen Shower. Please take care of yourself and each other. Take care.